So the laser can be used in two different modes, essentially a cutting mode and a non-cutting mode, otherwise known as initiating the fiber and uninitiating the fiber. So when we want to use this laser as a cutter, we do need to initiate the fiber, and that's what we'll go over right now. As you can see, the laser went into sleep mode, so I'm just going to push my knob and wake it up. And I'm already in the start screen, and my first preset is initiation. So I'm going to press OK. And the setting on initiation is 600 milliwatts continuous wave. So what I have here is a little bit of articulation paper, in this case AccuFilm, as it seems to work the best for getting a really good initiation. So I have my little roll of AccuFilm here. Pick up my laser and press the black circle right below the knob here. It'll blink 5 times and put my laser into ready mode. From here, once I depress the foot pedal, the laser will fire. Before I do that, I'm going to make sure I have my glasses on. Now you can do this one of two ways. If you had this roll of AccuFilm dedicated for your laser, then one thing you can do is go ahead and fire the laser right into the top. And you'll see a little puff of smoke come up. You can drag it across the top, and that would be perfectly fine. The other thing you can do is grab a piece of articulation paper out, fire your laser, and pop a hole right through it, and you'll see a little plume of smoke, and that would also be perfectly fine. You can even grab it and drag it across the sides. Do not leave the laser firing here for any elongated period of time, or the paper will eventually ignite. If I turn my aiming beam off here, you can see the very tip of the laser is now black. And that will allow the laser to cut. And that is how you initiate your fiber. Let's review stripping and cleaving and caring for your laser after you use it, or post-op anyways. Your fiber will look something similar to this post-op, where you have black along the edge there and a cannula that has some tissue on it. All you want to do is simply remove your cannula and go ahead and expose a little more fiber here. Grab your cavi wipe. Do not use a 2x2 with alcohol. If you have a cavi wipe, that's the best option, and go ahead and give it a wipe down. Then you're going to press your button here and pull your fiber through. Just like that. We'll get our cavi wipe and again give it another wipe. We then have the black end of our tip here, which is probably about 2 or 3 mil. At this point, you're going to get your cleaver, remove the cap, now there's 2 ways of doing this. One way is to grab your fiber in your finger, and the goal essentially is to make not a cut in the fiber, but simply scratch the fiber, and you want it to be as close to 90 degrees as possible. So I'm going to try that now. You're going to give it a scratch or a score, just like a glass cutter, and break the end off. You can see the broken end that came off. We're now left with a clean fiber.
Good.
Okay. Now the other way to cleave your fiber, the first method was in your finger. The other way is to lay the fiber flat on a countertop or table surface. Come directly on top of it, again as close to 90 degrees as you can, and score the fiber. You can then pick it up and break off the end. Just like that. Now to check to see if you got a good cleave, you can turn your aiming beam on.
There you go.
And your idea is to get a perfect circle here. I've got a little bit of a halo coming off here. This is an example of a perfect cleave. You've got a nice round circle. We did a good job of cleaving that fiber. If you need to cleave the fiber during or in the middle of a procedure, you can simply expose more fiber. Grab your cleaver. Use the end of the cannula as a guide. Score the fiber and break it off. You can then expose fresh fiber and reinitiate or use accordingly. So when we hit the sheathing and we need to expose fiber, we're going to go ahead and strip back the sheathing. You have this tool in your box, and what you want to do is grab the center block and pull it all the way back. And you also have a dial on the front. There's a black arrow signifying which setting is selected. You want to go ahead and select 5. Just like that. Now it's easy. Your stripper's set up. Push the fiber through and select the amount of orange sheathing you want to remove. Then push in either end and pull. You'll be left with a fresh set of exposed fiber. Typically, you go ahead and measure out the length of the handpiece. Grab it with your fingers, and you'll want to strip back that much fiber. It'll leave you with something like this. You can then put it in your handpiece and go ahead and reuse it again.